Hi, my name is Arden, and I'm going to be presenting the opposition analysis of Toronto FC. The first thing I wanted to do was kind of paint a picture of the kind of team Toronto is in and out of possession. So let's take a look. They rank 26th in the MLS and touches in the attacking third. They rank 25th in the league with touches in the penalty area, and they rank 28th in the league in shot creating actions per 90. So not a very attacking team. Next, we're going to talk about their defensive stats. So opponent touches in the attacking third, ranked third in the MLS. Opponent touches in the penalty area first, and opponent shot creating actions per 90, they rank fourth in the league. So a lot of their games are played in their own half, which makes sense when you watch the games as well. Okay. So let's talk about some of their key players. Probably their main man right now is Bernardeschi. He receives the most progressive passes in the team, creates the most shots, creates the most goals per 90. Adama Diomande and Ayo Ikonola, their stats, they don't show their attacking threat in publicly available stats, but they have pace and they're really athletic and they make good runs. Okay, so this is the formation that Toronto has set up in against Atlanta and against DC United. Back four with a double pivot, but the front four, they're kind of very flexible in how they set up. They'll set up in a 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever they think fits the situation best. The first thing I'm going to discuss is exploiting their double pivot, the double pivot of Kay and Bradley. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, here against DC, DC is building out of the back. And as you can see, the distance between the two and the double pivot, very large. And that DC center back is able to find Benteke on the back line. Okay, going out wide. As you can see, spacing is not ideal. It's very large. Where DC is able to find a midfielder. He's able to turn face up, find an option on the back line. Okay, so out wide again, and now their spacing is even more in disarray. Left-sided player does really well to use his body shape to disguise the pass. Again, able to find a player on Toronto's back line. Okay, so here against Atlanta. So not only here in this situation is the distance between the double pivot very large, but the distance between the center backs here is also very large. And so you have a really good underneath run from Atlanta's right back to exploit both of those seams, get the ball and go into the box. Okay. On this one, Bradley gets baited by this bump pass that Atlanta used, and then Atlanta exploit that player that he left and behind, combine vertically to go forward into the attacking third. Okay, now we're going to talk about Toronto's defensive corners, especially their defensive corners against Atlanta. So let's take a look at this. They set up with four zonal players that kind of resembles an L shape. I think Atlanta could have exploited it a little bit, but could have been more intentional with it. They had a line of players right here that kind of ran into this shape, and it presented an opportunity to exploit this space right here. So let's take a look at that. Okay, here you can see the L shape right here. Okay, and you can kind of see the line of players kind of jamming themselves into that shape here. All right, so as they jam themselves into that space, it creates an opening for this player right here. He gets a free header, nearly scores from it. Okay, here we are again. We kind of have this shape right here. Atlanta's jamming themselves into it. Atlanta player gets a header right here, but unable to be very accurate with it. I think it's something that we can really exploit that at that penalty spot. Okay, next we're going to talk about Toronto's patterns and possession. It really was, their patterns and possession was influenced by the setup of DC United and Atlanta. So let's first dive into their setup against DC United. DC United and a nice organized 4-4-2, very organized, very compact. So Toronto's just, passing in their U, a lot of sideways passes, probing, seeing, kind of lulling DC United to sleep. Okay, maybe threatens to go in behind, decides not to. Okay, now we go. Okay, making it an athletic battle into these spaces. Okay, again, we're probing, we're passing in our shape. Okay, now we're threatening to go long, making it a foot race into those space. Okay, a little bit different with Atlanta. Atlanta had most of the possession in the game, so Toronto tried to create opportunities in transition moments. Let's look at that. Okay, so here Toronto regains the ball, and what they were looking to do is regain the ball, make these diagonal runs into half space areas to try and get on it. Okay, regain the ball again. Yep, diagonal run into the half space. Okay, another thing that we saw in the Atlanta game that wasn't present in the DC United game is Atlanta's shape. They play a big possession shape, nice and expansive, like to switch the field. So as you can see, their shape is much bigger than DC United's. So Toronto was able to find more combinations in central areas, was able to progress more in central areas, where against DC United, they're passing in the U, then going long. Okay, here they're able to cut through Atlanta United shape whenever they were able to get possession. Okay. Yep. Nice little combination here. And now we're going forward. Throwing in the defensive area. Bernardeschi drops down, assists with the buildup, essentially through the middle. And now we're going forward into the attacking third. All right. That's all for the analysis. Hope you enjoyed it.